Mr. David, Jake, good to see you guys. Welcome. Amen. Beautiful bracha. Okay. I want to ask you a question. I saw on the news yesterday. I saw a picture that someone shared about a guy in California. He just won $2 billion.
What?
He won the lottery. $2 billion. He was the number. I mean, just now it was in the last few months. It was the sole number one biggest win of a lottery, I think, by anyone in the world. Okay, $2 billion, and the picture shows him, a pretty big guy, big goofy smile on his face, with his college buddy, and they're climbing into some vintage Porsche that he bought for, I don't know, probably millions of dollars. Okay, and you look at that picture and you're like, wow, he's like a kid in a candy store. He's just like, I don't know, he's just like just living it up now. He's $2 billion. And then, okay, half it went to taxes. Okay, so he probably still has about $1 billion left. It's not bad, right? Not bad. And you begin to, and you begin to think about, right? And you begin to think about, which is actually reminds me of a good line. I mean, it's a good line. I heard someone talking about the lottery. They said, "Oh, I don't want to win the lottery. You have to pay so much taxes." And everyone was like, "Huh? Pay so much taxes?" But that's because you have so much money, right? So why wouldn't you want to win the lottery? Anyway, okay. So he probably paid about $1 billion in taxes, but it's also because he has $1 billion. Now, it gets you thinking. If I was a rich man, I'm happy that at least some people get the reference. But if I was a rich man, if I had a lot of money, wow, I would do so much good. My friends would have an awesome time. Life would be so good if I was only really, really, really rich. And the truth is, as the Tiferes Yisrael points out, he says, rich and poor, if you think about it, it's not just money, right? It's not just money. You're having a challenge. People think about rich. Okay, the reason why people want to be rich and the reason why they want so much to be so wealthy is because they think, when I'm rich, I could just write a check and the problem goes away. Whatever problem I have in my life, I write a check and it goes away. And really what we want is, what do we want in life? We want goodness. I just want blessing. I just want goodness. Right, Yehuda? Right? I just want good stuff. I just want life to be good. And if only life was just good, then that would be great. I don't know, I'd be able to be productive. I'd be able to be successful. Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's okay? Okay, terrific. Right? I'd be able to be productive, successful. I'd be kind, generous. Whatever it is that I tell myself in my mind why I can't be the perfect person that I think I should be, if I had everything good, then I'd be good. Let's put this into practical terms. You ready? Let's say, right? I heard a story recently. Somebody was a young man who was in yeshiva. He found himself stuck in a very compromising situation. Okay, he was going to be spending time during Pesach with family that was significantly below the standards that he had for himself. Right? Significantly below the standards that he had for himself. Okay? In many areas of life, in many areas of religion, in many areas of being a good person. Right? So let's say this person, right? He's stuck for Pesach for 9-10 days with family that has very low standards of religion. So what does he do in that time? Does he tell himself, woe is to me, I can't learn the way that I should, I can't watch my eyes the way that I should, I can't daven the way that I should, I just can't, because I'm stuck in this situation. And if we think about this, really, we all have a challenge of this somewhere in our life. I can't listen to what Rabbi Kramer's saying because this guy sitting next to me bothering me. And so if we think about it, right, if we think about it, we really all have this. We all have this at some area of our life, right? You know, famously, there was a student of a great rabbi who he told his Rebbe, oh, if I only had a great brain, right? If only I was really smart. If only my heart was sensitive and open. If only I was really strong and I was really healthy. If only, then I'd be able to do the right thing. Right? Do we think that? I think that. I think that all the time. If only I had more time. Right? If I had more time, then I would be able to do so many things. Right? You know? If I had this, then I'd be able to. Do we think, right? Who thinks that? Does anyone think that? Does anyone else think that? I mean, I think that. I think this all the time. I think this all the time. You know, if only I was born into a different family, right? If you want to be really extreme, right? If only I had these types of siblings, if only I had that type of siblings, if only I had all of that, then life would be good. You know what the Tiferes Yisrael says? He says it's a bunch of garbage.
What?
Exactly. It's a bunch of garbage.
Nice.
He says, when you have all the blessing in the world, when you have everything just right, guess what? The challenge is harder. It's worse. When you're rich, when you have all the blessing, when you're really smart, when you're really healthy, then it's hard. In fact, I know someone who he said, after he became a paraplegic, you know what a paraplegic is?
No.
Who knows what a paraplegic is? Okay, a paraplegic is someone who is paralyzed. Okay, he's paralyzed. Okay, he can't use his legs. I actually think this person was a quadriplegic, which means he can't use his legs or his arms. He was paralyzed. He said after he became paralyzed, he was able to more fully and in a better way connect to God. He was able to better connect to God. He was able to pray to God better. He was able to be a better servant of God after he became paralyzed. I want you to think about that for a second. He was a healthy man. He was a rabbi. After he became paralyzed, he was better able to serve God. It's pretty humbling to think that maybe if you were homeless on the street and you didn't have all the blessing that you had, then it would be easier. What do you think, Chaim? Chaim, do you think if God gave you all the blessing in the world, it would be easier to do the right thing or harder to do the right thing? You think that? I don't think, I wouldn't have thought that. I wouldn't have thought that. I would think it's easier to do the right thing. The Tiferes Yisrael says no, harder to do the right thing. Because you know what happens when people have all the blessing that they want? You know what happens? They sit back and enjoy it. And they want more. They don't do the right thing. They don't take advantage of that blessing the way that they should. How many people that you know that they have a lot of money and they now feel a responsibility to use that money to be able to help other people? So you say, well, if I had billions, I would. Really? Do you have some money with which you could help other people now? Yes. Do you feel a responsibility to help other people with that money? No. So what's going to change when you have billions? You know what's going to change when you have billions? You're going to be like that guy who won the lottery in California, who buys himself a multi-million-dollar Porsche that he doesn't want, he doesn't need, he doesn't care about. It's just a nice toy to be able to go joyriding with his friends. That's what's going to happen. And then crash it. That's what's going to happen. Are you going to do the right thing more? Or are you going to do it less? So this is what you have to wonder. If you're going to do the right thing less, and you're going to do more good when life isn't going well, guess what you're making for yourself?
A good thing.
What you're making for yourself is a situation where the best thing that God could do for you is to do bad for you. Right? Think about it. The best thing that God could do for you is to make your life miserable.
What?
Again, think about it.
Like,
If I have all the blessing in the world, if I have use of my arms and my feet and my mouth and everything, I'm going to blow it, and I'm not going to take advantage. I'm not going to serve God in the right way. And if God takes that all away and makes my life miserable, then I'm going to serve God in the right way. Well, what does that mean? What that means is that for God to do the best thing for me, it means he should make my life miserable. Right? It's pretty sobering. You stand in front of God, you say, God, I want blessing, I want good things. God says, really? Really? You? You're not taking advantage of the blessing that you have to do the right thing with it. If I give you more good things, you're just going to do worse. How can you ask for good things? Doesn't make any sense. The Tiferes Yisrael says, you know what the trick is? You know what the key is? You want to get on the right side of the equation? You want to get on the side of the equation where good things means that you're doing more good? You know what the key is? Gratitude. Appreciation. When you have gratitude, when you have appreciation for what you have, I have my arms. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me arms. Now I could use these arms to help somebody. Thank you, Hashem, for giving me a brain that can work well. Now I can use that brain to help other people. The more appreciation, the more gratitude that you have for the good that you have been given by God, then you're going to use it the right way. Then you're going to use it to do good. And then God says, oh, you're using the blessing I gave you to do good? Now, it's good for you to have more good, because you're going to do more good. But when you don't have so much good, and when the little good that you have, you're not using in the right way, and in fact, you're getting angry and upset, and you're saying, God, why didn't you give me more? And God says, that's not somebody I want to give good to. That's someone who's just going to be angry. And that's someone who, if I give him a lot of good, what's he going to do? He's going to go to the nearest Porsche dealership, buy himself a multi-million-dollar toy, and smash it up. That's a waste. That's a waste of my good. That's a waste of my money. There was a very good sign that went up in yeshiva many years ago. Probably about 5-6 years ago. I think it was the first time that the Powerball lottery went over $1 billion. And it was a cartoon. And in the first scene of the cartoon, you see a guy, he's davening to Hashem so seriously, and he says, Rebbeinu da'alma kula, Master of the world. He says, if you let me win the lottery, I'm going to go to yeshiva and I'm going to learn Torah. Because right now it's so difficult for me. I have this responsibility, this headache, that headache. But if you give me the lottery, if I win the lottery, I'm going to go to yeshiva. I'm not going to worry about money. And the next scene, God responds. And God says, I have 4,000 people in Lakewood doing it for $5,000 a year. Mochel tovot. Don't do me any favors. I'm not going to give you the lottery because it's not worth it for me. I'd rather take that money and give it to Lakewood. And maybe I'll be able to get even more people to learn Torah. I have to give you $1 billion for you to sit and learn Torah? For what you're doing, you can't find time to learn Torah? Guess what? You're not going to find time to learn Torah if I give you blessing either. In fact, it's going to be worse. So what's the trick? The trick is the good that God does give you. Health, brains, a family,
AARP.
all the blessing that God does give you. Are you thankful for it? Do you appreciate it? Do you use that blessing to be able to do good with and to be able to help other people? Well, if the answer is yes, then God says, well, then I can be confident that giving you more blessing is going to lead to more good. But if the answer is no, then when we ask God for more blessing and for more good, we're fooling ourselves. But we're not going to fool God. Jacob, take it away.
It's